NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
There's been a massive escalation of border tension, the first such incident that includes fatalities along the border with China after a gap of nearly 45 years. We'll bring you the big story right now. Let me get you the headlines first. 3 soldiers killed in a face-off with China, including a colonel. India says in a statement there were casualties on both sides as the Indian army retaliated. Chinese soldiers also killed in this, but we don't know much beyond that. So let's try and go across to Beijing. We have Shamim Zakaria joining us right now. So Shamim, the big, first and foremost, if you could take us through what is being reported in the Chinese media on this face-off right now.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for having me on NDTV. Well, this is indeed a very significant event, and since 1975, this is the first violent clash that happened between Indian and Chinese forces. And if I were to tell you what exactly are the details coming in right now, it is that it took place in the Galwan Valley, where de-escalation was going on at that time. And today, in the press briefing, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Li Jianzhao, he said that this was allegedly because Indian forces violated the border and they crossed to the Chinese side. And that led to the escalation, and that led to a violent clash and a physical a fight between the Indian and the Chinese troops. But having said that, there were no shots fired or there was no any gun battle. And he also reiterated that at a time when commander level talks were going on and both sides were trying to de-escalate the situation, this is not what is happening situation is not going in the right direction. But again, at the same time, he refrained from giving any number in terms of casualties of the Chinese soldier, but he cited the Indian sources and gave a particular number, which I would not quote because it is again an unverified number. But he did quote some Indian news portals and Indian media and social media handles and said that there had been 3 casualties of Indian soldiers and some casualties also on the Chinese side as well.
Shamim, just hold on. Let me put this across to Vishnu. And so, Vishnu, we don't have a confirmation from China, or do we, about these casualties on the Chinese side? Because that's
no,
what
there is absolute confirmation from the Chinese.
And the numbers? Do we have a confirmation on the numbers?
Yes. No confirmation on the numbers, but the Chinese are confirming. In just the last few minutes, there has been a statement from the CGTN news producer. Again, this is the official Chinese government agency. 23 minutes back, in fact, China's foreign ministry said Indian troops on the 16th of June seriously violated the consensus of 2 sides by illegally crossing the border twice, carrying out provocative attacks on Chinese soldiers, resulting in serious physical clashes in the Galwan Valley region. And just prior to that, 57 minutes back, source confirmed Chinese side also suffered casualties in the Galwan Valley physical clash along China and India on the line of actual control. I think the point we need to also understand over here is that the Chinese aren't talking about the number of soldiers that they have lost. We have so far identified the loss of only 3 Indian soldiers, including 1 colonel. But the point which I keep stressing so far, region, the information we have, that's still Sarah, just now, in just the last few moments, ANI has just come out with a tweet. This has been reported earlier, I'll repeat it. China has lodged solemn representations and protests to India. Here we are sternly demanding India to earnestly abide by the relevant agreement and strictly restrain their frontline troops. They should not cross the borderlines. Zhao Lijian, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson. So this is their perspective. This is their standpoint at the moment of what they say took place on their lines. We obviously say that it's all been about a Chinese incursion, which is why we are having talks in this place as well. One more point, Sarah, I don't think I mentioned in the last little while. The colonel, we've lost a colonel, a senior officer, a commanding officer, in addition to 2 men. Whether or not we've lost more soldiers or the Chinese have lost more soldiers, we do not know at this stage.
All right, let me, Vishnu, let's get in Nazir over here right now. Nazir, as India now focusing on this section in Ladakh, we've been seeing at the same time over the last few days Pakistan making ceasefire violations in Jammu and Kashmir too. So it's a challenge on two fronts.
Yeah, exactly. If we see the entire border with Pakistan or with China, it is becoming hostile. We see this thing, what happened today has actually broken a status quo. Rules of engagement and ground rules along the line of
timing of this face-off. Beijing has been in the headlines, the big international story all day because of the worries of a second phase of the coronavirus pandemic that led to global markets crashing. The Indian markets too were being scooped. So in that context, what is the coverage this face-off is getting right now in the Chinese media, Shamim?
Oh, well, as of now, I was checking the Chinese media and the newspapers and other websites. Particularly Global Times has been reporting extensively about it. In fact, it was the first media organization to break the news and to break the statement of the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Li Jianzhao. And it is alleging that it was definitely India's incursion. India violated the border and then crossed to the Chinese side, and that led to this escalation and whatever ensued after that. And they are again refraining and asking Indian side not to violate any consensus that has been built after the June 6th meeting. Apart from that, as Vishnu rightly pointed out, that the Chinese authorities have also lodged solemn representation with the Indian authorities. But as of now, we are yet to hear any statement from the Indian embassy here. I think eventually how things pan out and what transpires later, we'll get to know about it in the due course. And also, it's a developing story. So not many Chinese media organizations, apart from Global Times, have been reporting about it.
Okay. All right. So we just spoke a little while ago. My colleague Ankita spoke with Lieutenant General D.S. Huda, the ex-GOC of the Northern Command, who says that this is a very serious situation, much more serious than previous standoffs, and that there should be no attempt to underplay it. Listen in.